Welcome back to Dice to Pixels, episode 54. Tonight we're going to talk about the Activision Blizzard merger with Microsoft. We're going to talk about a few other things, so stick with us. We'll get right into it. Activision Blizzard, Microsoft. There is a whole bunch of misinformation going around on this. Confused information,
Yes.
I think is the best way to put it. So we looked into this just a few minutes ago to try and get up to speed, and I think I know what the state is. So the FTC got shut down. They were suing to get an injunction against the merger in the US. So we know that the UK blocked the merger a while back. This was in the US. The FTC was suing to block. That has been ruled in Microsoft's favor. So in the US, as of now, as of a few hours ago, it should be fine for them to go ahead with the merger. FTC said that they were going to appeal, but apparently that went back to the same judge and was, my understanding, the word I read was immediately rejected. So that appeal has failed, is my understanding. But they are now talking about taking it to the Ninth Circuit Court, which you don't need to care about what that means, except that they're not done. FTC is still going to try and block it. Now, what we don't know, and we were trying to figure this out a little bit, mostly talking about it earlier, we don't really know what that means. Like, I think that means that if they rushed it today, that they could do it. They could sneak it in on Friday afternoon, just before close.
Yeah.
I think that would be a bad idea though, for so many reasons.
Sounds a little bit dodgy.
I think the stock market might revolt for one thing. But more importantly, the UK, they are still in negotiations. So it hasn't been outright rejected in the UK. It's been temporarily rejected, and they are negotiating. In theory, my understanding is, as of right now, this is Friday afternoon that we're recording. My understanding is that right at this exact moment, they could go ahead with the merger, but they would have to stop making any sales in the UK of all games across Microsoft and Activision and Blizzard. So they're not going to do that. But we'll see what develops. But there's been a whole bunch of news articles I've read. A whole bunch. The headlines are they can go ahead with it. It's no. Kind of. Not really.
Yeah.
They're not in the clear.
Yeah. If the FTC was fine, we're done with this, then totally different story.
That would be different, yeah. The other thing that I don't know, and if you happen to know the answer to this, if you're a lawyer or just an armchair lawyer that happens to know, my assumption is that the FTC, right now they're trying to get an injunction, but if they went ahead with the merger, which I think they're legally allowed to right at this exact moment, I assume the FTC could still sue to unwind it, essentially, which would be super messy.
Yes.
I think they would have to sue then to break it back up, which would be not good.
No. So it does make more sense just to wait for a final word.
They're going to wait. I mean, they were going to wait anyways, because even if they got the all clear today, even if the FTC said no, we're done, they still have to figure out the original merge plan was whatever years ago, I think at this point. They still have to figure out how the stock sale goes, what the closing value is and everything else. Because the original merger, the original deal is no longer on the table. They still want to merge, and they're still going to go ahead with the merger if they can. But the original merger was based on a stock value that is no longer accurate. And it would have had some, I'm saying that authoritatively. I assume it's dead. These things usually have a 90-day limitation on them. So they'll have to draw up a new agreement once they're ready to do it. But anyways, if you've been hearing that they're good to go, they are not really good to go. They're closer, but not there yet. So, but you had something just a minute ago. Do you remember what it was?
The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Gollum, that I weirdly want to play, even though apparently it's really terrible. I need to know. I know nothing about it other than the fact that it exists, and apparently it's awful.
Terrible.
Apparently the worst game almost ever.
It got as good as Zelda, as much as Zelda was overhyped and everybody was this is the greatest game ever. Gollum is the exact opposite, where it's this is the worst game ever. And you got to wonder, you're that can't be true though, right?
Yeah.
Is it Is it really that bad? I kind of want to play it to find out, but I also kind of want to
Exactly.
play it if it's that bad.
Yeah, both of those things. So I Googled it just because you were saying, well, if it's on sale, like
Yeah.
it's 30% off on Steam right now.
What does that actually make it, though?
That's a good question.
In Canuckian dollars.
Canuckian dollars. Let's open this link. But they also, when I first Googled it too, the in the about on the right hand side, the Steam review,
Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Ooh, hey, that's not as bad as I expected.
The IGN review, 4 out of 10.
Okay, all right.
And Amazon is 2.2 out of 5.
Oh, that's bad. I wonder why.
So on the Steam page, the recent reviews of 27 are mixed, and of all reviews, of which there is 316, mostly negative.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yep.
Love that.
So 30% off brings it to $48.99 Canadian.
Wow, that's still a spendy for. Wow, I wonder. I'm gonna have to look into this. I should have looked into this before we started recording, but I'm curious whether it's more like a Cyberpunk issue where it's just buggy and crappy, or if it's like actually just a shit game.
What would be the mechanics behind a game like that? Like, do you role play as Gollum and you have to like survive?
So it says for similar games, it says The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and Skyrim.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It's an ARPG.
Yeah, so I think basically, and to be fair, I haven't really paid much attention to it because it got such negative reviews. My understanding is it's basically like there was the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth, where you were an open world and you were the hero of sorts. I think this is just the opposite. Well, I don't know. Gollum isn't a villain per se, but it's basically another open world Lord of the Rings, but from Gollum's perspective. And in theory, that should be okay. Although I do wonder if part of the problem is, like, I wondered this when it was announced. It's like, normally, when you have an open world game, you're the hero and you're getting stronger and you're getting power-ups and you're getting abilities. Gollum doesn't have any of that. And like once the ring's gone, Gollum like decays into like horrible decrepitness.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be like, if it's accurate at all to the storyline, you're gonna get like steadily weaker as the game goes, which could be interesting, but I bet that's not what they did. You made an interesting face a second ago. Reading some of the reviews?
Yes. So one of them, after playing just 40 minutes, I found the experience to be clunky and unoptimized. I hope the game comes as good as I want it to. One of them was, this will probably win Worst Game of the Year award. Game is glitchy, crashes often, controls are clunky. What else do we got here?
So far it's sounding like a Cyberpunk issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings Gollum will go down in history as one of the worst, most broken, and most disappointing game releases by a proper game studio in the past 20 years.
Interesting.
That's a big statement,
right?
That's fighting words.
Yeah.
That is, I wonder if they're just going to give up on it or if they're going to try and fix it.
I have no idea.
I don't have any faith in that studio to actually fix the game, so...
I mean, their last announcement thingy for recent events, and actually I should view all.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Riveting content right now.
Oh yeah.
It was on so it was released on May 25th and on on May 26th. Dear players, we would like to sincerely apologize for the underwhelming experience many of you have had with Lord of the Rings Gollum upon its release.
Yeah, I saw that. There was like, when it came out, there was like a whole thing on Twitter where people were like collecting up all of the recent apologies from studios who had like fucked up launches. So they had like Cyberpunk, and like Gollum was the latest one, but there was like all of the games that have just completely flopped in the last like 2 or 3 years or more. And it was basically just became a meme where it was like, hey, instead of writing apologies, write a decent game.
Yeah.
So I was aware of that when it came out, which is one of the reasons why I never got into it. Yeah, $48 almost makes me think that they are going to try and fix it, but I don't have any faith in that studio to actually do it. So
I mean, Cyberpunk kept their game pretty pricey, but then they ended up fixing it.
Yeah,
too,
well, I was going to say they said from day one, like, no, we screwed up, but we're fixing this.
Yeah.
People didn't believe them, but they made no qualms about it.
No.
They're like, we're going to fix it. I don't think I've seen anything from them
No.
other than the initial like, hey, yeah, we screwed up. But it wasn't like we screwed up and we're going to give you weekly updates or anything. It was like, yeah, we fucked up.
It's been what, like almost 6 weeks, I think, at this point since
Yeah,
that post, and
it's
there's
been
no
a
other
while.
posts.
Yeah,
No
I haven't seen much about it. So, well, when it goes down to $20, if it's we'll try it out.
Yep.
Well, maybe we'll stream that. That'd be a good one to stream.
Yep.
I never played the other
Middle
game that
Earth?
they did in Middle Earth. I've heard good things, but was
played
it a role playing game?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. Well, it was a weird one. It was a role playing game, but it was almost more like
Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor. Sorry,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking of. Yes. Was it? It was the one that had the Nemesis system, I think.
Yes, they both
Yeah.
are. Yeah, they both do, because Shadow of War was the first one, and that was what really first started.
Yes.
It.
Yeah. It was cool. It was a cool mechanic. I have it on something. I don't remember what, but we
probably PlayStation.
Probably PlayStation. Yeah, we could fire it up, or maybe it's on Game Pass. I don't know.
And what would the Nemesis mechanic be?
The Nemesis was kind of cool. It was and this is like a patented system, which has drawn some ire because people are like, well, now we can't use a similar system in our game. But there was basically like the generals, like the leader and generals of the enemy army, and when you killed one of them or failed to kill one of them, they would get like a promotion or they would get replaced or whatever. So you always had like this roster of sort of high tier enemies in the enemy army, in the enemy forces, that were like shifting around, and like there were power struggles and they would level up and everything else. And so like killing one of them had an impact, but it was like you didn't know what the impact was until you were done the fight, and then it would actually show you. It would come up with this like cute little cutscene sort of thing where it would show you like what just transpired in the enemy ranks because you just killed a general. It was cool. A lot of people loved it.
Yeah, I never played it, but it always sounds so interesting.
Yeah, very cool mechanic, very popular mechanic, but patented, so nobody else can do quite the same thing, which is annoying.
Could you not recruit enemy leaders as well?
I feel like you could. I played the game, but I never got super into it, so I don't know the full extent of it. But I do think you could like convince them to come over to you. And like if you went and fought one and lost against them, they might become like they were out to humiliate you further, so they would like hunt you down and stuff, sort of thing. It was a really cool system. It's too bad that they're being dicks about it, because it's a system that could be used in so many places and could be evolved in so many interesting ways, but if you stray too close to it, you get in trouble. So
that's so weird, because you think you'd want to share that with other companies, or maybe even offer to do the Nemesis type of game with another company just for a charge, right? For hire.
Yeah.
Well, they're more than happy to license it to you for a disturbing amount of money.
Yeah.
Which is really disappointing, because the number of, like, we've always talked about indie games being so innovative over the last few years.
Yeah.
If they were allowed access to the Nemesis system, some of them would just like go friggin' bonkers with that.
Oh, for sure. And it's a shame, because even like the really, really simple Nemesis systems that have existed, like Diablo 3 had a really cute mechanic on the consoles where if you died, there was a chance of like the aspect of you, like the demon that killed you, even if it was just a trash mob, there was like, if the demon that killed you would like go, and if you were solo, they would come and attack you, and it would just spawn randomly and come and attack you. But if you had friends in your BattleNet crew, even if you weren't like actively playing with them, it might spawn for them instead.
Ooh.
So it'd be like aspect, like whatever, Nemesis of Adrian or whatever it was called. But it would show up for you or Danielle or my buddy Jack or whatever. And that was cool. That was a neat mechanic.
I remember that when we played during the pandemic, where you, I, and our friend John were all playing together, and it was like, oh, this is Nemesis of Danielle. And I was like, wait, what?
And like any sort of system like that is awesome. But this one, the Nemesis system from Lord of the Rings, was definitely one of the most polished and interesting ones. it's a real shame that they're being so they've gotten a lot of heat for being dicks about it, but it's a shame that they're being so ruthless about guarding it. But oh well, I assume, I would hope that the same system exists in Goblins and
Goblins.
Gollum.
I mean, you're not far off.
Yeah, right. I mean, pretty much. Yeah, I don't know if it does or not, but I would assume it does, because why wouldn't it, right? Like, it's the same cinematic universe, we'll call it.
No, well, I guess I'm not really surprised, but also a little bit surprised at the same time. Something like Stardew Valley with like a Hobbit twist on it.
Oh yeah,
being licensed.
So this is actually what drives me a little crazy in the old brain noggin, which is exactly what you were getting at. Like Power Wash Simulator, you've got like Lord of the Rings. Well, I don't know if they've done Lord of the Rings yet, but they've done like Tomb Raider. They've done a whole bunch.
Yeah, Tomb Raider. They did Final Fantasy 7. SpongeBob comes out shortly.
There's been
some other one. Yeah.
Bunch.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, things like Stardew Valley, which like people would go apeshit for that. Nobody seems to be interested.
Yeah.
It's weird because it should be not much more than an asset swap and a little bit of extra work on the NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think it'd be very doable.
Well, he's still doing everything himself too. Curious ape.
Yeah, which is a little weird too. Like I support people doing everything themselves in a lot of cases, but in that case I'm like, just hire like one person. Like you don't have to turn it into like a whole like studio, but like maybe like one other person wouldn't hurt. Just somebody to take the load off a little bit.
But he's also focusing on the Haunted Chocolatier at this point too, which
is
the new game.
Yeah, you gonna play that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Curious Ape and it's chocolate.
Yeah, you might like that too. It's have you played Stardew Valley, Danielle?
No. There are lots of games that I have never played.
Bring the mic closer.
Yeah.
No, you can just bring it closer to you. Yeah, there you go. I think you'd like the Haunted Chocolatier.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a horror vibe, sort of, and
kind of cutesy horror.
Yeah, cutesy horror. Yeah, and I think you'd thriller maybe is more kind of appropriate, but I think you'd also like Stardew Valley. So,
if you ever get that, you can play co-op too.
Ooh. Yeah, I do like
co-op. You can play 4-player co-op on that sucker.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'd play that. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll get. I'll accept Chad, who never plays with us.
Like he doesn't like keyboard and mouse, so that's fair.
Fucking guy. I'm so glad he's not here. We didn't even mention that he's not here.
He's not here. He decided to go north. See his family or whatever.
Well, he was out fishing. They're probably not fishing anymore.
Yeah, you didn't mention that Chad wasn't here and who I am.
Well, I assume they know who you are. This is my wife, Danielle, if you didn't already know. She's been on the podcast before.
I have.
Yep.
If you're watching and you're like, who's that? And you haven't watched every single one of our episodes, come on.
What are you even doing?
Come on.
What are you doing?
Come on. You have to subscribe twice for that.
Shame.
Yeah. So anyways, Gollum I'm interested in playing. You got to, right? When it's that bad.
Yeah.
You got to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna get me. They just got to drop the price a little more. You hear that? Drop the price. Do it. Do it now.
Now, what price range are we talking about? Are we talking about like $20?
I would jump on it immediately at $20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
30, I would probably still jump on it, but it'd be a little more of a struggle to.
Yeah.
I do 30 if we were going to stream it because it's content. 20, I'd do it just because.
Just because, yeah.
But 48's a little steep for what we know is going to be a bad game.
Yeah.
So.
Take that money and instead get Robin Morningwood.
Yeah. We still gotta. The problem with that is you can't really do any content on it.
No.
You can't. Like,
I mean, we could start our OnlyFans and do it on there.
Yeah, we could do a Pornhub channel or an OnlyFans channel. Yeah. It's one of the many Steam porn games. If you haven't watched very much. Every once in a while, we deep dive into the very shallow dive into the Steam porn games. There are just so many of them, and some of them are so weird and stupid, and the names are fantastic, and it's amazing. There's like an entire vast majority, like just every day there's like 10 new ones. And a lot of them are just like slider puzzles, but
yeah,
just it's crazy. We're going to be back in 2 seconds. I have to yell at a cat. And we're back. Oh, that cat.
He is a cat.
Yeah. Since Danielle's down here tonight, Con, of course, thinks that he's dying of loneliness. Even though I have a cat tree right here for the cats, and they won't use it. Scooter's over in the hammock, though, eh?
Yep.
That's good.
She's been good since she got up there.
Yeah. So anyways, Gollum's great. We're going to play it. It's going to be the best game ever. We'll give it a 10 out of 10 review.
I mean, when we played Orc Massage, we weren't expecting much of anything, and that was wildly better than any expectations could have been.
I'm actually tempted to try Robin Morningwood because, yeah, Orc Massage, which, again, Steam porn game, it was exactly what we expected in some ways and vastly more advanced in other ways.
And a weird amount of more depth than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, just there's a whole subculture there that I just am not in, and more power to them. But like, holy crap, I feel like 80% of all Steam games are like pornographic, which is
probably,
in fairness, that's keeping with the internet, which is like 95% porn. So, but yeah, what else is going on? Starfield's getting close.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Apparently it's getting review bombed. I don't know why. I haven't looked into this, but I saw there was something about it getting review bombed.
Probably because it's a AAA game and
who knows.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's coming to Game Pass?
Yeah, that's the new Bethesda open world. Or we're gonna definitely be playing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but I was seeing something about it getting review bombed, and I don't care because it's Game Pass. So
yeah,
even if it had a 0 out of 10, I'd still play it because it's Game Pass.
Yeah.
So.
And then Chad was all excited because Sea of Stars was announced to be Game Pass day 1 release as well.
Oh, that's good.
But he already pre-ordered it anyway because he loves the Messenger, same company. So he's like, yep.
Still hasn't learned his lessons about pre-ordering.
No, but
God damn it, Chad. Exo Prime is apparently out on Exo Primal.
Primal, I think so.
It's the dino hunting one. I'm going to check it out. It's apparently available on Game Pass as of today, day 1. My understanding is it was released today and is available today.
So it's a dinosaur hunting one.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really looked at it, to be clear, because I was like, well, I'm not going to buy that. It's not in my wheelhouse enough that I would buy it at full price.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's on Game Pass, I'm definitely going to try it out. I think it's Turok-ish, which won't mean anything to you. And you said you didn't play it, Sarah, but for anyone who had an N64 in the day, Turok undoubtedly rings a bell. So, yeah, dino hunting of some sort. It looked cool. I'm going to check it out. Like I said, I wouldn't buy it full price, but Game Pass, rock on.
Every week, I feel like we just announce how much more worth it is to get Game Pass.
Yeah, I was talking to my brother. We were over playing games the other day, and we were talking about consoles because he hasn't actually bought any of the new gen. And he was like, and he said, he's like, yeah, the only thing I'd buy is an Xbox because of Game Pass.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I get people who are super into gaming who have specific preferences for PlayStation, but I'm actually surprised that Microsoft hasn't been outselling like to casual gamers.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're just too expensive.
Yeah, there's probably
even with the Xbox S. Actually, I'm not sure that that's true. I don't think the S is too expensive. I think they didn't do a good enough job marketing it. Which, by the way, public service announcement, I have both the X and the S. The S works wonderfully. If you've been considering it but concerned about performance, don't get me wrong, on things like Hogwarts, it's going to struggle a little bit, although I played it on the S quite a bit and it was fine. But for most games, the S works great, and I would recommend it. But I feel like a lot of people are hesitant with it because it's just smaller discs, slower. But honestly, it's been great.
And I think it depends on what type of gaming you're going to be doing. Because if you are doing like those big beefy AAA games all the time and that are going to be demanding, then yeah, it makes sense to get the one that's going to be able to handle it a little bit better.
Yeah, but if you're paying like $100 a pop for games, then presumably a $700 system isn't gonna
exactly,
make you shy away. Yeah, I'm curious because I feel like Microsoft has the better value proposition by a million miles. You can get like a full year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and an S for the cost of a PlayStation, or an X to be clear. But to me, like if you're on the fence or you think that it's too expensive, I'm like, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I'm a little surprised that they aren't selling more. I wonder if that's part of the reason that they're refreshing with the black S that has a larger hard drive.
The black Xbox.
Yeah, we mentioned it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's been in the news. They're coming out. It might be out now, actually. It was a few weeks ago that we saw it. They're doing a bigger,
it's still
better
pre-order.
Yeah, okay.
The release is September 1st.
But I do wonder if that's maybe part of that is Probably. They're like, hey, there's still some like hesitancy around the ad. Like I was hesitant. I was like, if I didn't already have the X, I would have never bought it. But I was like, well, worst case scenario, I'll play the weaker games on it. But I played Hogwarts on it. I played a bunch of shit on it, and it's great. So
I've only played on the X, so
yeah. Well, the X is on the big screen. So like, I mean, for me, I wouldn't have gotten the S for the 4K OLED because, well, it's a 4K OLED, but as a second system, and if you're a casual gamer, like if you're not looking to spend big bucks on gaming
or big butts,
whatever, I think it's a great option. And PlayStation doesn't currently have anything like that. There's no cheaper option.
Like my sister is a more casual gamer, and she has, I don't know, she does have a PS4, but if she was wanting to upgrade to anything, I'd tell her to get the Series S 100%.
Yeah. I do think there's probably some hesitancy there, and I don't think it's warranted. I mean, like I said, like I fell victim to that. I was like, ooh, I don't know, it's slower, but it's great because it's limited to like 1080p/1400 or whatever. So even though it's got less horsepower, the relative performance is still good.
And in all honesty, the 1 terabyte, the black 1 terabyte coming out is less than $100 more than the current Series S. Yeah,
well, and for the record, unless you have a really slow internet connection, I wouldn't go for the terabyte. There's no reason to. Microsoft servers are very fast. You will be able to, like, I have gigabit fiber here, and I can get like gigabit fiber download speeds when I'm downloading a game. Like we were streaming the one night and downloading games, and we were getting really fast downloads.
Yeah.
We then realized that cloud gaming was the way to go. But
yes.
Which incidentally, if you subscribe to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you can play on the cloud and it works great. Just hardwire your console. That's the only thing. I
don't know if it was because it was through my account. So I with Chad being away, I was just chilling last night and I wanted to play Hard Space Shipbreaker.
Okay. Yep.
Space like power wash simulator, only you're breaking shit apart. So I would put on my profile, but for some reason I couldn't figure out how to do cloud gaming on there. It took me to the thing and it said that you had to have Ultimate. So maybe I can't do cloud gaming
from your account.
But I can download the game fine.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That seems like a bit of a gap.
Unless it was in there someplace. It's just, I remember I had the exact same issue that you had where it was like, play cloud gaming, learn more right up front. And I click on it and I'm like, oh, this is.
But then they like hide the actual button to play it.
Yeah. So I didn't. So I was like, it's probably here someplace. I don't want to spend 5 minutes when I can just install the game.
Yeah. No, I remember when we were live trying to figure that out. It's like, where the fuck's the button to actually just play this? It's not the big green play button. That's not it. But yeah, no, the Xbox S, if you are on the fence at all, I recommend it. It's a great system. I mean, obviously I recommend the X more but if you're not looking to spend that kind of money, the S is awesome.
Yeah.
So, and the Steam Deck is awesome. And the Switch is awesome if you're into that. I haven't played my Switch in a long time.
No.
It's still a good console. Well, it's good games. It's actually a terrible console, but that's okay.
Good first-party games.
Yeah, well, there's been a couple of third-party games that have been pretty good, but okay. I agree in general.
Ones that are made more directly for that system.
Yeah. But yeah, generally speaking, if you want Nintendo, I mean, I'm going to play it again once the Super Mario RPG comes out. So
I'm sure Chad will as well.
Yeah, he and I will have to be old men and just sit in our corner with our Game Boys.
I'll get you guys little spinny hats.
Yeah, I have a spinny hat from Google.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's perfect. Which actually, I had not intended to segue at all, but just a quick note. I haven't been saying anything about this on the channel for quite a while, but I am officially unemployed in 2 weeks. I've been on a delayed layoff since much earlier in the year. I was one of the vast number of tech people that got laid off. And instead of trying to find another position, I just said, great. So I am going to try to make this and a couple other little things that I'm working on a full-time thing. And we'll see how that goes. We're going to have to do a little bit better than we have been so far for this to work out. But that's going to be my life for the next several months at least. I'm going to post more to the channel, and I'm going to be doing a few other things. I'll keep people updated about the stuff you care about. There will be a Kickstarter coming up with something I've been working on for a little while. And there will be some mobile apps, games coming up at some point. And I'm also going to be doing some woodworking, but you don't care about that because I'm not shipping it. So unless you're local, in which case talk to me on Discord. But yeah, so I'm going to be officially, this is going to be my full-time gig. It doesn't make any money yet, but as of 2 weeks from now, I am a content creator full-time, a failing content creator. We'll see if we can take away the failing at some point. But yeah, I figured I'd update now that we're close to the end. Obviously I've known for several months, but we're down to about 2 weeks. So figured I'd let people know. Yeah. Fun stuff. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I mean, I really enjoy this stuff. I just got to figure out some short form video, which by the way, if you have short form video content that you're interested in, drop it in the comments. I know I've asked that before, and I do have a list of things that people have dropped, but I'm always open to new suggestions. So let us know in the comments or Discord if you're into that. And I'll probably start streaming. I had started streaming a little bit, and then I kind of got a little bit frustrated with it for a number of reasons. But I'll probably start doing that a bit again. So, because I can do it during the day for other time zones, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, people even put it on sometimes for
at work. Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. So anyways, that's what's happening with me. That and this game that I tried that I'm not sold on.
Yeah. You were talking about that.
I have to remember the name here. I think the headline name is just Far. And then I want to say it was something like something about sales. Actually, I think it was right there in my Far Loan Sales. Yeah, so it's Far : Loan Sales. And it's a side scroller, but it's sort of a unidirectional side scroller. The reason I checked it out is because it's very much on sale right now on Steam. I think I paid like $3 or something. I had it searching for under $6, so it didn't cost me very much. I played it for a little bit. I'm seeing right now, I'm looking at the 100% walkthroughs, and they're 2 hours long videos, so it's not a very long game. But it's kind of cool. You basically have this like post-apocalyptic world, and you've got a weird like tank construct almost that you've made that you have to pilot and refuel and repair and everything. I haven't played a lot of it yet, but I'm enjoying it. It doesn't sound like there's all that much to play, so maybe I've played more of it than I think I have. But I will say there is absolutely no tutorial or otherwise. It was a pain to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do at the beginning. So, but if you're looking for cheap games, there is a handful on Steam right now, and I'm checking out Far. And so far, I don't hate it.
That's always a plus.
Yet there aren't many things that I don't hate.
Yeah.
And it's on that list so far. But it could still fuck it up.
You just said far a lot in like 2 sentences.
Well, that's appropriate.
Yep.
Far, 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 far.
Yeah, I think I've seen this game before. It's caught my eye before. I think more so than anything because of the graphic style. It's really, it's pretty. I don't know how to describe it. It's like almost hand drawn, but not at the same time.
Yeah, there's somebody will know exactly. Chad would know exactly what term it is, probably, because he's into. Because it's similar to some of the other games that he plays. That art style, there's probably a term for it, and he probably knows what it is. But it's cute. I picked it up because it looked kind of interesting, and I'm all for like post-apocalyptic sort of survival games, which this is. Although survival is a bit of a misnomer on this because it doesn't look like there's it so far, at least. It doesn't even really look like there's enemies per se. It's all about like, do you run out of fuel and basically just you can't go any further. Because you can sort of tug your behemoth tank along a little bit. There's like a winch on the front that you can like tug on, but you can't tug it up hills or anything.
I mean, that makes sense.
So if you get like really close to where you are supposed to go and run out of fuel, I think you'd be okay. But if you run out of fuel like at all far away, you're screwed. So I don't know that there's any enemies. I haven't ran across any yet. Like I say, I'm not all that far into it. But it's cool, and it looks like it's on iOS and Android as well.
I think that's probably where I've seen it.
Yeah, I suspect that's where it came from, if I'm honest.
Have you ever tried This War of Mine?
No.
Feel maybe that might be a game you're kind of interested that might suit your taste. Yeah,
I'll check it out.
It's kind of a survivor game.
Is it under $6?
No.
Oh wow, that.
But I have it in my library, so you could get access to it.
I mean, you're already stretching. $3 is already stretching my budget.
I know. 78 cents.
Yeah, you know I don't pay over $1 for games. Yeah, no, I'll check it out. I am gonna be trying a few more games lately. Actually, something that Danielle, since you haven't gotten a chance to say a lot tonight, the whole mobile thing actually reminds me. I was gonna ask about this tonight on the podcast, both for you two and for the audience. I'm curious. I have not been playing mobile games. I used to play a decent amount. I haven't really anymore. And that seems to be true of a lot of people that I know as well. I'm wondering, is that like a universal thing? Like, it's obviously not universal. I know young kids play nothing but mobile games. But Danielle, you haven't been playing any mobiles, have you?
No, the last mobile game I played was the guy who does the oatmeal did like a Exploding Kittens mobile game.
Right.
Where it was, you had to like make up like words with like a word wheel in front of you. And based on that, you could like send your kittens to your neighbor's house to like explode your neighbor's house across the way, depending on how long the word was and how well you did with the word. It's I forget exactly what it's called. I could look it up on my phone really quick.
That actually sounds a little bit like the game that I was making, Safe Word. I should check it out and see how similar it is.
I can tell you the name in just 1 second.
That's so good.
Because I think there's a mobile version of the card game, because I feel like I've played that, but that is
but the card game is not like, that's not free. This one is actually like free. It's called Kitty Letter.
Kitty Letter. Love it.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
Love it.
It's quite good if you are into his comic style and you want just a fun little like game to play on your phone. Yeah, totally.
That sounds fun.
But I bust that out every once in a while. Usually if I'm sitting somewhere for a long period of time and don't feel like, reading on my phone or something.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was building with Safe Word. I'm gonna have to check it out because I'm actually wondering if somebody beat me to the punch. This is a game that I've been planning to release for like a decade now and never got around to it. So it wouldn't be surprising if somebody beat me to the punch on it. But that's cool. I'll check that out. But yeah, you haven't been playing much.
No. I've been playing Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Trying to get through Diablo 4. Well, I've gotten through the main storyline, but I'm trying to get up to like, level 60 and above. And it's just the leveling in that game.
It's horrible.
It takes so long.
It's horrible.
So long to level.
We'll come back to Diablo in just a minute because there's actually a couple of stories that I saw that are amusing on Diablo. But first, Sarah, mobile games.
I have.
Did you used to play mobile games?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Like, I've had Candy Crush and Angry Birds and stuff like that on my phone.
Everybody played Angry Birds.
Everybody.
I didn't play it very long.
No.
I didn't find it very interesting or engaging. Like the spin-offs, one of the ones where it's like the clusters of birds to unlock the chains or whatever. I played that within the last year and that wasn't terrible, but yeah. Yeah, now at this point, I have, I think, maybe 4, 5, 6 games downloaded on my phone, but I only play 2 of them. And it's Nonograms, which I've had literally for years on there.
Yeah.
And then Merge Mansion, just because it's, I don't know, delightfully brainless to merge stuff together periodically. So
that's a popular one, Merge Mansion. Yeah.
It has a weirdly good story to it too, kind of.
That is what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the commercials are just amazing.
Yes. I like the one with Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
Yes. It's quite good.
I'm going to have to check it out. I know nothing about it. I've never even heard of it actually until this moment.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get away without seeing the commercials? Have just randomly have celebrities in them for some dumb reason.
He's not on social media as much as we are.
Specifically, I have YouTube Premium. I don't see ads. I forget that ads exist. I see them on websites. I occasionally see them on Twitter because I do use Twitter, but I haven't seen any of those. Merge Mansion, you called it?
Yes.
Yeah, I literally didn't know that existed.
Yeah, I see it on Instagram all the time.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't use Instagram.
Yeah.
Twitter and YouTube are like my things. And I haven't seen, YouTube, I don't see anything. Weirdly, I haven't even seen, every once in a while you see a sponsor ad from somebody doing Raid Shadow Legends or something.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any for Merge Mansion yet, but I'll have to check it out. It sounds like something brainless that I might be into.
Yeah. It's so blurry brainless.
The last mobile game that I remember actively playing, I've played a little bit of Heroes of the Forgotten Realm now and then, but I haven't really played it in quite a long time. The last one that I really sunk any actual time into was 2048, which was a great game.
It's another one of those games that it's always puzzle games.
Yeah, well, they work really well on mobile, right?
Yeah. But then there's just so many games also that are action adventure games too. And how can you hold your screen that long? Your phone gets so warm.
It's the new generation. They've mutated. They have different hands.
Apparently.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. They've been using phones since 3 months old and their hands just mutated.
Yep. Thicker skin, I guess, or whatever.
No,
they're just
cold-blooded. Yeah.
Oh, lizard people.
For them, exactly. For them, it's like sunbathing on a rock. It's how they work. Yeah. So anyways, I was curious, and I'm curious from the audience, did you used to play mobile games? Do you still play mobile games? Is there one that you've stuck with? Or do you just is mobile just one of your consoles? Because as much as I've talked about in the last few weeks, I've talked about Nintendo should sort of lean into mobile, which I still believe, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play mobile games anymore very much or ever.
I mean, because so many of them are just so samey at this point,
too. Good Lord, yes. I mean, if they brought more NES classics out for the iPhone, I'd play them.
And when I find something that I might be interested in, it's always Apple Arcade.
Right.
Which, I mean, if I really wanted to play them, I'd just get the subscription, but I don't like that.
I keep saying I'm going to spend some time looking into Apple Arcade because I've got it now, and I still haven't actually done that.
Yeah, I downloaded a game called Limbo Plus, it looks like a dark little horror game, which I'm into, but I haven't played it all on my phone because if I want to play a game, I'll just play Diablo.
Yeah.
Is it on the Apple TV though?
I think it might be on the Apple TV for Apple TV too.
That's what I'm most interested in. Do we need the new version of the Apple TV?
No, I'm saying it might also be as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say there is a new version of the Apple TV that I was thinking about getting anyways, because I think I'm going to steal the one that we have for the garage anyways. But
we might want to update the one in the living room.
Maybe we will, especially if we're going to be trying out Apple Arcade games. Having the extra processing power might be worth it.
But the thing is, too, with Limbo Plus, if it's if it actually is the game I'm thinking of, it's probably based off of a console version of a game called Limbo, which is a spooky horror game too. Side scroller.
It sounds sounds
Yep.
exactly like that as a side scroller. Yep.
Sounds likely. Yeah. So anyways, let us know. I'm curious. Still gonna get around to playing Apple Arcade at some point, eventually. I just keep forgetting.
Yeah.
I'm sure once I boot it up and try a few, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, there are like rock on games. I'm sure I'll be much more into it. But it's just like, oh yeah, I just forget that exists. I just keep not checking. So
I think also at the same time too, I don't know if it goes for you guys as well, but like I just find myself mindlessly scrolling on this so much that when I put it down, I don't want to pick it back up again to really play anything.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that, which is a generational thing. Like I guarantee the younger generation does not have that problem. No. They seem to be glued to it 24/7. Like as much as our generation is, the new folks are, oh my God. But for me, that's why the Apple TV is interesting, because it's just another console.
Yeah. Maybe. So with that being said about new generation playing on phones so much, I also find older generations too, like more seniors that didn't
Candy Crush.
Exactly.
They're still playing Candy Crush.
Candy Crush and all of those games, probably Merge Mansion too, because it's so easy. But like, I find it's like right in the middle here, people entering middle age.
We want actual fun games.
Yes, we want fun games that we're not staring at our phones the entire time. We want controllers or mice in our hand, whereas everything on either side of us is like, our phones are great.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I cannot believe that my mom I'm sure she still plays Candy Crush.
I'm pretty sure she does.
And I'm just like, how has that kept your interest for the last like 7 years?
I love seeing the people that have like their 5-digit levels into it. Like, it's holy shit.
It's like it's the same level over and over and over again. Why are you? I mean, I played Candy Crush for a while. Yeah. It was fun.
Match 3 games are great.
But then I was like, cool, I've done that now. Like, that's fine.
I never played it.
Yeah, but fair enough. But like, you've played Bejeweled and stuff. Like, you will. Oh,
really?
I'm pressing X.
You're pressing X.
Maybe not Bejeweled, but like, surely you've played a Match 3 game.
No, I think the only game like that I've played is Tetris.
Really?
I've played games. There's a game that I like. It's also on my phone where it's like a flow game where you have to like connect dots and you have to do it in such a way as you don't cross any lines and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are my kind of, and I like Solitaire. Like I have Solitaire on my phone that I've played a million times.
I've played so much Solitaire.
When you were talking about like the game where you got to link up a bunch of things, you just triggered a memory for a Flash game, because we keep on talking about Flash games, and you just triggered a memory for a Flash game I used to play the ever living hell out of, and it was basically Noah's Ark, and you had to match all the animals together and like that sort of thing and try and get the biggest combos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. For some reason, it made me think of the traffic jam games, where you have to like get the car out of the parking lot.
There's so many ads for those types of games now.
Oh, I hate those games.
Yeah, you wouldn't very much like those. That's crazy that you haven't played a Match 3. Well, we're going to have to get you to play one and then watch your life slowly fade away into addiction.
I think that's why I haven't played them, is because I know that it would just consume.
They're definitely like meditative games. Like, I understand why they're popular. Make no mistake. I'm not saying they shouldn't be popular. The fact that people have stuck specifically to Candy Crush for years. It's crazy.
My mom will stream stuff on her computer to watch, and she has her tablet, and she has found a Match 3 game where it's just basically an endless mode, and there's no like goals or anything. So she just sits there and she'll Match 3 and watch her shows. And
Yep. Oh yeah, it's definitely a meditative style of game. 100%.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that people like it so much. It's just exactly that. It's just like, out of all of this time, have you not found anything better than Candy Crush? Like, come on now. But yeah, there was something else I was gonna mention that was mobile game adjacent, and now I can't remember what it was. So that's it. We're done. Delete the channel. Can't remember what it was. What else? What other mobile games have you played?
Well, Angry
there.
Birds.
Angry Birds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Like Angry Birds, Solitaire.
Did you play Angry Birds in Space?
That one was so hard.
Yeah,
but I
liked it
played
because it was hard.
on my desktop. I played Star Wars Angry Birds.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
It's
that
cute.
too. It was Diablo. I was gonna go back to the Diablo. You were talking about Diablo. So I'm curious to hear a little bit more. But apparently there are 2 different builds that are pretty broken right now. Shocking that a Blizzard game would have a broken build.
What?
Druids are dealing I've seen different numbers, but billions at least of damage. Like there's a build for druids that is just completely fucking broken.
Well,
I think Sarah needs to know what this build is.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Probably an end game build, but I also saw an article that was talking about a barbarian build that had managed to do a hit for undecillion damage.
Holy shit!
Which is just like. I'm surprised they used a big enough integer for that. Like
that's insane.
They must have used floating points for the damage or something because that's nuts. I didn't read the article. I need to go back and take a look at it at some point. But yeah, oddly enough, there are apparently some balance issues in Diablo 4. That's as I say, that's a real shock coming from a Blizzard game. They've never had any balance problems in any of their games before, but apparently Druids right now are completely fuckered, so they're gonna patch it. So you better get on it if you want it.
How do you know how many points of damage you're doing? Is this something that I'm just not noticing while I'm playing the game?
They do have. I think you can make it so numbers are showing up on your screen. I think I turned that off because I find that really distracting.
I think it's also defaulted to off on consoles.
It might be that too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I think you can turn it on.
Yeah, because I play on a console, so I've never noticed that number before. I just watched the bar to make sure that I'm, knocking down their health.
Yeah, I think you can turn it on consoles, but I think it's off by default. I'm actually not even sure it's on by default on PC, but the PC has some different options here and there. So, but yeah, there's apparently a couple of builds that are completely fuckered. No surprise.
No.
Meanwhile, I was going to open it up today. I was like, oh, I should play some Diablo. And then I was like,
That's what I was feeling last night too. That's why I went back to the Shipbreaker. Because I've been working on it, but then
if I'm going to sink a bunch of time into a game and be left really unsatisfied, I'm going to play Gollum. I don't know. I'm waiting for them to patch Diablo to make it good. Because right now it's still kind of...
I just can't believe how long it takes you to level. It's insane.
What I can't believe is that some people legitimately got to 100. The number of days that they did it in is okay, yep, that's possible. I get that. But you must have literally just been playing around the clock, just shift playing or something. Because, god damn, son, it is so slow to level in that game. But Blizzard, fix your shit. And merge with Microsoft already. Do it. Break up with Activision and merge with Blizzard. No one cares about Call of Duty.
Ooh, scandalous. Scandalous.
Cue the hate. I played Call of Duty once, and it was okay. And I thought, this needs to be on PC.
Is it not on PC at all?
I don't think so.
Is it not?
Pretty sure it's Xbox exclusive.
Huh.
I played it on the PlayStation.
Maybe I'm way out of date. If Call of Duty is on the PC, then maybe I'll give it a second shot. I played it on one of the consoles. Maybe it was PlayStation.
We got it for free when you got one of the PlayStations.
That's right. It was on PlayStation. Yeah, I'm full of shit.
Because it's through Battle.net and Steam.
Right. Okay, so I can get it through. Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll give it a shot. I hate console first-person shooters. Anyone who watches the podcast knows this. But if it's on Game Pass, especially, maybe I'll give it a go on PC. because I like first-person shooters.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate console first-person shooters.
I don't like first-person shooters, but I've only ever played them on a console or tried.
I don't think you have
failed.
any better luck on PC.
No.
I don't know. I think it's easier on the PC.
It is, but her issue is not the same. So, like, my issue, at least on consoles, is that you can't be meaningfully accurate.
Mm.
Her issue is the pace of the game. And I don't think we'll give it a try, but I don't think I just don't think you'll like first-person shooters.
That's fair.
Yeah.
My problem is that the console is too sluggish for it to react. Her problem is that she's too sluggish for her to react.
That's fair.
So I don't think a PC would help, but we'll give it a shot. It'd be funny to record it anyway.
Oh, you're gonna hear me swear in like every language that I can think of.
Yeah, no. Watching you play Maneater was an amusing experience.
Oh, that was so bad. I can't. It's just I think it's the 3D type of movement.
In fairness, the controls on Maneater were pretty atrocious. Even
Yeah.
I was having a bit of trouble with it.
Yeah. I had trouble. So I could fly in Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
I had no problem doing that. It's just I couldn't finish the time trials in the amount of time that they wanted me to successfully. So Adrian had to do those for me.
There again, the controls on Hogwarts flying were clunky.
Yes. There's been worse, but
Yeah.
they weren't.
They weren't horrible. They just weren't very good.
No, it was. I personally just found the movement up and down being on the right stick. That was the issue for me because I want to be able to look
100%.
around.
100%. For the record, though, I thought that was true of Hogwarts in general. I liked the game, but all of the controls I thought were clunky.
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't think that they did a very good job of it.
Found them a little bit sluggish sometimes.
Yeah, sluggish for sure, and just the way you had to keep shifting your wheel, like your spell wheel, pissed me off.
Yeah,
it's like either just like, because it would be one thing if you just had to cycle through the wheels, but the fact that there were only 3 wheels, that wasn't enough to hold all of your spells. It's like
that drove me nuts.
Yeah. And it wasn't like you could just go in and select a spell. You had to go in and change it so that it was on a wheel, and then go in and change it so that you. Yeah, they didn't do a good job with the control scheme on Hogwarts, but it was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I would like to see them do another game like that, but make some improvements, like you said, like, have enough wheels for all your spells and allow you to be able to like flip through the wheels a bit faster.
We just need to get you playing some Elder Scrolls on the gaming PC.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls is better anyways. I mean, Hogwarts was fun, but Elder Scrolls, I mean, if you're going to play an open world game.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you not going to play it? I mean, play Skyrim.
Yep.
I tried playing
Or
Skyrim,
Starfield.
but I didn't like the graphics. They were too...
Oh, don't worry. There's mods for that.
Yeah, well, what were they too?
They were just like not very... Like I think,
not realistic enough?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were
There's
terrible.
so many mods.
You're fine.
Yeah.
we can fix that.
Yeah.
There are more mods for Skyrim than there are people in the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Do you want to
disgusting.
see everyone naked? There's a mod for that.
Oh yeah. I
Do
mean,
you
that
want
was
to
one of
change
the first
the dragons into Thomas the Tank Engine?
ones.
There's
Done.
mod for that.
There are. It's actually crazy how many different flavors of hyper realism mods there are for Skyrim.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really, it's one of those games that just has such staying power because it's so good.
Yeah.
They really kind of nailed it. It's
Yeah.
a good game with a good sized world and good quest lines and
Yeah, I was enjoying the open world RPG nature of it, but I couldn't get past the graphics. I was like, no.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
And I
That's
think
fair.
I've been spoiled because I've only really gotten into games in the last like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So
you've been
I've been playing like Diablo 3 and then Hogwarts Legacy and then
Yeah.
Diablo 4 and then
and that's
yeah.
taking what like 10-year step backwards. So
Mhm.
yeah, vanilla Skyrim definitely doesn't look amazing, but
yeah, because I downloaded it and played it because it was on Game Pass. So I was playing it on the Xbox and I was like, I can't with these graphics.
No.
no, that's fair. But I'm bringing up an image here for you to see. So this is what it can look like with mods.
okay, see, yeah, I can play that.
Compared to what it does look like out of the box, you're like, that's not the same game. Fuck off.
Like the face, like I was creating my character and I was doing like the cat character and I was like, what the?
Yeah. No, it's crazy how much time people have spent on modding Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because it, like I said, it's just such a popular game and like talk about staying power. Like that's a game that I won't mock people for still liking. Candy Crush, I'm like, come on now. But Skyrim, that's fine. You still like Skyrim. I swear to God, 50 years from now, people are still going to be fucking playing Skyrim.
Because it's a good. There's still stuff that people haven't found there.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're still stupid. Like I still see articles every freaking like somebody got the most useless weapon ever in Skyrim and stuff like that. And it's just there's still so much crap going on. I mean, those I don't click on those articles for the record because they're dumb, but they exist, which means people care enough to click.
Yep.
So, yeah. We can probably wrap it up.
We don't have chat here timing us.
I've got a timer up.
Oh, okay.
We're at 1 minute and 4 seconds, but that's from when I started recording, not from when we stopped dicking around and actually started like talking. There was some misfires at the beginning of today's podcast. But is there anything else either of you wanna?
I don't think so.
No.
Gollum.
If
you've played Gollum, let us know.
I was just gonna say Gollum, greatest game ever.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, do let us know. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
How can it get that bad a review? Like, it can't be that bad, right? They wouldn't have released it if it was that bad. I shouldn't say that.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for next week. Chad will be back. He's just on vacation. He's not gone anywhere. Well, he has gone somewhere, but he'll be back. We'll be talking about stuff next week. Hopefully the gaming news sites, like the gaming news cycle, has something more interesting. It's been really uneventful the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Just a lot of like, oh, there's a new game coming out. Cool. Well, when we get to play it, we'll
It feels like when people talk about the gaming slump that happens around like end of summer, beginning of a fall, but just news cycle gaming slump right now.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So anyways, let us know if there's anything you'd like to hear us talk about. Just in general, not specific games, but like we haven't talked about RPGs in a while, TTRPGs. Yep. We should have a chat about that, or maybe I can finally get that episode that we had Sam on fixed.
Right.
That's killing me. It's killing me that that's still not out. But anyways, let us know in the comments. Join us on Discord if you're interested in it. Like, subscribe, tell 800,000 friends so that I don't have to go back to a day job. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Bye.